Welcome everyone to D-Backs, and this is Me versus History, powered by MLB Road to the Show 2016, where I take a game that I recently attended and see if I can outperform history. The first game of the season is, of course, the first game of the season, opening night. Manager Chip Hale had some interesting decisions to make with the sudden loss of Pollock, so he put together a lineup that had Chris Owings defending center and Nick Ahmed in the 9-hole as second leadoff. Zach Greinke came into opening night with 21 1/3 straight innings at Chase Fields without allowing a run, and for the first two innings, he managed to continue that pace. In fact, the D-backs got on the board first in the second. Unfortunately, in the third, things went off script, and that's where history and I diverged. A couple of tough hops and a fake bunt turned infield hit later, and we were down 6-1. We didn't give up though and started hacking away at the lead a couple runs at a time. Offensively, Goldschmidt had a quiet night, going without a hit and just one walk, historically, but in my battle with virtual Colorado, seemed as difficult to stop as ever. The same could be said for Castillo, who appears to be off to a slow start as well, putting up a donut historically, but earning me a free Jumbo Jack virtually. Don't know what I'm talking about? Diamondback corporate sponsor Jack in the Box is giving away a complimentary Jumbo Jack with the purchase of a large beverage every day after a game where a Diamondback hits a home run. So should they jack one over the fence or jack one into the corner that slips away and turns into a home run, you too can get yourself a Jumbo Jack the very next day, all day. Back to the action, Yasmani Tomas had a pretty good night opening night, getting a couple hits and a couple RBIs, but more importantly to me, he made a play on the ball and left that made me think he may have been practicing his efficiency routes this offseason, which tells me that he is continuing to work on his fielding techniques and not letting them fall behind. Even at third last year, he had a pretty good eye on where the ball was going to go and would drive on it well and make the play. He just suffers from an acute case of hands of stone-itis, which requires reps and glove maintenance to overcome. Something he did not do for me versus history, letting one bounce off his foot inexplicably. The road to the show's stat-driven gameplay hitting a little close to home, I think. For me, the game was well in hand by the ninth, so I brought in Ziegler to close it out. I like Ziegler specifically because his delivery gives the opposition little opportunity to acclimate themselves to it, and it helps his pitches have a nice natural sinker-slider action across the very bottom of the strike zone. Often dipping out at the last moment, sometimes making it seem like Zig is using the entire volume of the strike zone. It seems to me that it makes for a tougher at-bat than usual that tends to create ground balls and double plays. In reality, the game got away in the 8th, but not before the D-backs managed to earn us some tacos between 4 and 7 the next day at Valu Taco Bells. This time for scoring 5 or more runs, which we both did. Taco Bell will give away 3 crunchy tacos with the purchase of a large drink the next day, but only between 4 and 7. So on opening night, the D-backs gave you 2 ways to get free food. If you were going to be driving through on a busy day anyways, you might as well stop and get something for free. A quick note from the game, those of you leaving early may not have seen. Parra was back in town, opposing us in left, unfortunately. But late in the game, he threw a ball to a child in the stands, which seemed to take a weird bounce and ended up in the hands of another adult nearby. Now, had anyone hit towards him for the rest of that inning, he may have made a poor play on the ball for the first time I've ever seen. The reason was he spent the entire inning jawing at the adult to give the ball back to the kid, which eventually happened. So all's well that ends well, except that I really miss having Parra around. He's a real stand-up guy. Wrapping up, however, the player of the game for me was me. The player of the game for opening night was probably Peralta. I don't remember who it was officially, but he had a solid night and probably connected to the next batter best that night while performing well in the field. Yasmani had a pretty good night as well. But what do you think? Was there someone else who stood out on opening night to you? Leave a comment about your experience below. Is there a game you think they should have won but didn't that you'd like to see me overcome? Let me know and I'll give it a go. But for now, I'm out of time. So if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you've really enjoyed it, by all means, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And you'll be informed of all the specials available to backers of the Diamondbacks throughout the summer. I still have extra tickets available for those of you who want to experience a game. Simply subscribe to my channel and send me an email with "tickets please" in the subject line. And in the body of the email, write your YouTube account name so I'll know who you are. And I'll get you a pair while supplies last, of course. Alright, my friends, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. However, until next time, go D-backs.